You ever notice how people can sense weakness before you even open your mouth? It's not what you say, it's the energy behind it. The subtle collapse in your posture, the hesitation in your eyes, the quiet apology in the way you move through the world. Most people never admit this, but you feel it, a kind of silent defeat sitting under your skin. A life lived, reacting instead of acting. And here's the truth you've avoided. Respect isn't given. It's recognized. It appears the moment you stop trying to earn it. This video is not about tricks, charisma hacks, or fake confidence. It's about 5 Stoic behaviors, simple, ruthless, ancient, that make people feel something when you walk into a room. Presence, restraint, certainty, and a kind of internal gravity that can't be faked. These behaviors don't make you liked, they make you unshakable. Stay until the end. The final behavior is the one your ego will fight the hardest. Number 1, the power of controlled silence. If you cannot be silent, you cannot be in control. Most people talk because they're afraid of being misunderstood, ignored, or judged. So they fill the air with explanations, justifications, noise. But nothing destroys respect faster than this frantic need to be heard. Silence, on the other hand, controlled, intentional silence, signals a mind that does not beg. Think about your day. How often do you answer too quickly just to avoid discomfort? How often do you talk to prove yourself? Often do you rush to fill the gaps because the quiet feels threatening? Here's the shift. From now on, you weaponize pause. When someone challenges you, you don't react, you breathe. When someone insults you, you observe the space around their words. When someone asks you a difficult question, you let the silence work for you. Controlled silence makes people lean in. It forces them to reveal more. It keeps you unpredictable. And most importantly, it positions you as someone who doesn't move on command. People respect the one who chooses their words, not the one who vomits them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The closer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." Calm is not passive, it's dominance in slow motion. Here is the strategy. Speak last. Never rush to answer in meetings, debates, or conflicts. Let others exhaust themselves. Insert a 2-second pause before responding in any conversation. This single habit will change your entire presence. Lower your tone. Never raise your voice. A quiet tone backed by composure is more intimidating than aggression. Observe more than you assert. As Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we may listen twice as much as we speak." The point is not to be mysterious. The point is to be sovereign. Number 2, the discipline of emotional sovereignty. A man is powerful only to the degree that he is unprovoked. Most people walk around like emotional landmines. One comment, one inconvenience, one disrespect, and they explode. You've seen it. The insecurity masquerading as outrage, the ego pretending to be righteous anger. Nothing reveals weakness faster than a man who can be easily pulled out of himself. Emotional sovereignty is the opposite. It's when your inner state cannot be hijacked. Let's be brutally honest. You have lost control of your emotions more times than you will admit. Not always with screaming or drama. Sometimes in smaller ways. That spike of irritation when someone interrupts you. That silent resentment when you feel overlooked. That tightening in your chest when someone talks down to you. Those micro reactions. People read them instantly. So here's the shift. You stop treating your emotions as events and start treating them as signals. When anger flares, you don't lash out to track its source. When fear rises, you don't freeze, you interrogate it. When insecurity whispers, you don't obey, you expose it. This doesn't make you robotic. It makes you dangerously stable, because the person who cannot be destabilized becomes the gravitational center in every room. Seneca wrote, "No man is free who is a slave to his emotions." Freedom isn't a philosophical concept. Here it's a tactical advantage. Here is the 3-step sovereign strategy. Name the emotion instantly. As soon as you feel the internal shift, label it. This is irritation. Naming creates distance. Distance creates control. Neutralize the first impulse. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." Your first reaction is almost always your weakest. Do not act from it. Choose the behavior that aligns with your principles, not your mood. This is where sovereignty is forged. You don't respond to disrespect emotionally, you respond strategically. You don't react to chaos with chaos, you bring order. In a world of emotional volatility, your calm becomes a form of intimidation. Number 3. The art of uncompromising boundaries. What you tolerate is what you teach. People don't disrespect you because they're evil. They disrespect you because you allowed it once, and your silence became their permission. Most men don't lack strength, they lack standards. They allow too much, too often, then wonder why nobody takes them seriously. Respect doesn't begin with what you demand. It begins with what you refuse to accept. Look at your life with brutal honesty. Where have you let things slide? Where did you accept behaviors you knew crossed a line? Where did you avoid confrontation because it felt inconvenient, awkward, or risky? Every time you avoid setting a boundary, you shrink. And every time you shrink, people feel it. Here's the shift. You start treating boundaries not as rules, but as non-negotiable expressions of your identity. Examples: if someone raises their voice at you, you don't match the energy, you end the conversation. If someone repeatedly disrespects your time, you stop giving them access to it. If someone guilt trips you, manipulates you, or pressures you, you don't explain, you distance yourself. Healthy boundaries don't push people away. They reveal who shouldn't have been close in the first place. Your boundary is a mirror. It shows others and yourself what you truly stand for. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Boundaries are the external expression of this internal truth. Here is the Stoic strategy. Define your non-negotiables. You cannot enforce what you haven't articulated. Write down 3 to 5 behaviors you will never tolerate again. State boundaries without emotion. Anger weakens the boundary. Calm strengthens it. Say, "I don't continue conversations when voices are raised." No arguing, no explanation. Enforce once, then remove yourself, Epictetus taught. If someone is harming themselves, allow it, but do not join them. If someone ignores your boundary, distance, reduce access, or disengage completely. Consistency builds respect. Inconsistency destroys it. The less you argue, the more authority you project. The more you self-respect, the more others follow your lead. Number 4, the force of decisive action. Failure is not the result of poor opportunities. It is the result of hesitation. Most men don't fail because they made the wrong choice. They fail because they made no choice at all. The world doesn't respect indecision. People can smell uncertainty, and nothing drains authority faster than a man who hesitates when it's time to move. Indecision is permission for the world to walk over you. Decisiveness, even imperfect decisiveness, commands respect. Let's be honest. You have lost momentum countless times because you paused when you should have moved. You waited for the right moment, the right sign, or the right clarity. Meanwhile, life rewarded the ones who acted with imperfect information. Here's the shift. You adopt the discipline of instant forward motion. Not reckless, not impulsive, but committed. When there's a difficult conversation to be had, you initiate it. When there's a task you've been avoiding, you execute the first step immediately. When there's an opportunity that scares you, you move before your fear finishes its sentence. People respect those who demonstrate direction. People follow those who walk first. People trust the one who moves with certainty, even when the path is unclear. Your life changes the moment you stop negotiating with hesitation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have control over your actions. Never delay your command to act." Decisive action is not about rushing. It's about eliminating the mental rot that forms in hesitation. Here's the Stoic strategy. Adopt the 2-second rule. If you know you need to send the message, lift the weight, open the book you initiate within 2 seconds. Action kills overthinking. Close every decision within 24 hours. Seneca said, "While we waste our time hesitating, life speeds by. If it matters, decide today. If it doesn't matter, decide immediately." Execute the first 10%. You don't need the whole plan. You only need the next step. Forward motion creates clarity. Clarity doesn't create motion. Cut off the alternative. Once you choose, commit. There is no backup. Epictetus taught, first say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. Decide who you are, then behave like it. The world respects the man who makes decisions because it senses the truth. A decisive man is a man who leads himself. If this is hitting deeper than you expected, it is, because you already know these behaviors are the ones you have avoided for too long. If you want to keep building this inner strength with me, take a second to subscribe. You won't miss the final law that most men never master. Number 5, the presence of purpose. The one behavior ego cannot withstand. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Nietzsche. Nothing commands respect more instantly or more quietly than a person who moves with purpose. You've seen it. Some people walk into a room and without saying a word, everyone adjusts. Not because they're loud, not because they're dominant, but because they radiate direction. Most people drift. A purposeful man cuts through the world like a blade. Let's confront a truth you may not want to admit. Your life has felt chaotic, mainly because you've been improvising it, reacting to whatever's in front of you. Letting other people's urgency define your priorities. Running on habits, impulses, and old scripts you never questioned. Purpose is not some mystical calling. It's the decision to stop living randomly. Here's the shift. You begin structuring your life around one central axis mission. A direction, a reason. It doesn't need to be grand or poetic. It only needs to be yours. Once you have a purpose, everything changes. Your posture tightens because your life has weight. Your voice slows because you're no longer rushing. Your standards rise because your time matters. Your presence deepens because you're not drifting, you're driving. People instantly respect a man who knows where he's going. Even if they don't like him, even if they don't understand him. Your purpose is your gravitational field. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Stop wandering. You are not likely to read your notebooks again. Now do what nature demands of you." Stoicism wasn't about feeling calm. It was about fulfilling your duty, your role in the world. Here's the strategy to forge that purpose. Identify your core duty. Ask, what responsibility keeps returning to me? What do I feel called to strengthen? Purpose is often found in service to something beyond yourself. Create a daily mission, not a long list. One mission per day. Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be. Then do what you have to do. Your mission anchors your day in intention. Eliminate anything that pulls you off course. This is where respect forms. When people see you cut off distractions, pointless obligations, and emotional detours, they know you're serious. Carry yourself as a man on assignment. When you walk, walk with direction. When you speak, speak with clarity. When you decide, decide with alignment. You've just walked through 5 Stoic behaviors that don't make you liked. They make you undeniable. Controlled silence, emotional sovereignty, uncompromising boundaries, decisive action, and the presence of purpose. These aren't tricks. They aren't social tactics. They are the foundations of a man who refuses to be ruled by impulse, ego, or chaos. And here's the truth. Respect is not something you chase, something you radiate when your inner world is disciplined, aligned, and untouchable. This is what the Stoics meant by eudaimonia, well-fortified spirit, a mind that cannot be shaken, a life lived from the inside out. When you embody these behaviors, people feel it. Not because you demand their respect, but because you no longer need it. The world bends around the man who governs himself. If this resonated, if it struck a nerve, then keep building your inner citadel with us. Like the video, share it with someone who needs this, and subscribe to Timeless Stoic Mind for more content on strength, discipline, and the art of becoming unshakable.